Hello, Chance.
How's it going?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Not too bad. And just to get it out of the way, don't worry. I'm not here to pull anything. I'm not gonna be doing any dumb shit. I'm not gonna be trying to get you porn bombed or anything. I'm not. I'm not here to do that.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'd appreciate that. It's not quite sure the laws of somebody like who hosts
Well,
a
like
platform.
yeah, well, like I said, and see, I even said this as well, and I do agree that there has been enough bloodshed on both sides, and it's time that all this shit stopped and we both moved on.
Yeah. I included that in the title. I was watching your video, and I think you make
Yeah,
some very salient points.
yeah, and like I said, like all that I ask of you and your friends William and WordBoi is that you guys leave me alone and let me do what I was doing before all this ever began and let me live my life. If I want to stream, I should be allowed to do that. If I want to work on music, I should be allowed to do that. And just, overall, just let me live my life. Cause
Yeah.
like
So
I'm,
you
cause
did. You did say something.
yeah,
Like so you've gone to another platform. And you made a point saying that it's not illegal to speak your truths, and I don't think that it is illegal to speak your truths.
right.
Um,
And like I said, and like I told you the last time before I left YouTube for good entirely, because
mm,
I'm not aiming this at you. I'm just aiming this, in general kind of thing. I'll be honest, YouTube's in a very fucked up situation. Like they're in a very bad place right now where they are allowing bad shit to go on their platform. And like I said, I'm not aiming that at you. It's not just the stuff with you or with me or William. Like there's other shit going on with other YouTubers as well that's
well,
far bigger.
yeah, let's keep this to us because those issues, frankly, don't concern either one of us.
Right, but like I was saying, like that's essentially why I left because they're not taking responsibility for what's going on their platform and this and that. So I did essentially I was like, yo, like I'm piecing out this shit. I don't need this. Like, and believe it or not, I'm not the only one that left. There's a lot of other YouTubers out there that have left as a result of all this garbage. Not
Oh
with
yeah,
us,
so
not with us, but with their own garbage. But
yeah, let's keep this micro,
yeah,
not
but yeah, but
so. Like I
like
will say, over the past few days, like you've talked far more about me than I've talked about you, right?
right, and like I said, like the reason why I did that was because I was seeing like a lot of the stuff that was being said, and it didn't really sit right. So I was just like, okay, like if he's gonna sit here and do this,
But I haven't been
then
doing anything over the past few days.
well, I've been seeing a lot of the conversations in the Discord messages. I've been seeing a lot of that stuff, and like I said, I don't know if that's newer, older. Like, I don't know, and quite frankly, I don't care. But like for me, that was new. So I was like, okay, if he's gonna sit there and say this, then I'm going to speak my truth about what I know to be true.
Well, so
And
let's talk about that.
well, like
I saw you made an allegation that I've killed a dog recently.
the whole thing behind that was my friend said that you had stole their dog, and which I don't know if that's true or not. You'll have to take that up with them. Like I said, I don't know. I'm just going off of what they told me.
Mm.
And they said that the other day, they like their neighbor that went to go get their dog because they found out where it was at because they had it chipped. They went to go find it. They found it at a truck stop, dead in the like out in the middle of nowhere, practically. And they're aiming that at you, like, and they did show me the screenshots of like the stuff that you were saying. Like I said, I don't know. Like the only reason why I did that was on their behalf because I saw the screenshots, I saw what was being said, and when I saw that, it was like, dude, like that's not fucking cool. Like I said, I don't know if that's like really what's going on. You'll have to take that up with them.
Mm.
But
You're accusing me of
I
something
did.
that you're accusing me of something that I didn't do.
Well, no, I'm not necessarily accusing you. I can only go off of what I saw.
Well,
I can only go off of what I've seen and heard. And when I saw the screenshots and I heard about what was going on, I kind of was like, okay, so this is actually a real thing apparently. So let me speak out on it.
so
I wasn't necessarily
you-
I wasn't necessarily attacking you. I was basically coming from the point of view of like, hey, this is what my friend showed me. These are the screenshots that I got. This is what they had, they had sent me. So I can only go off of what they were sending me. I didn't have anything from your end or anybody else's end, so I couldn't really do anything except for defend my friend,
by accusing me of killing a dog, which I had nothing to do with. Come on, man.
Well,
That's not
like I said, you'll have to take that up with them because they have the screenshots stating otherwise. I can't say whether you did or didn't. Like, I cannot sit there and say whether you did or didn't. I was merely going off of what I was showed. That's all I was doing.
okay. So what is the evidence? Like, do you have it handy? Like, I'm curious to see this.
There were screenshots of basically you stating that you had taken the dog and you were using it to test drugs or whatever to make sure they were safe or some shit.
Mhm.
And they were saying like because I did see the photo of you saying that you had adopted a new dog or whatever.
Oh yeah,
And there
somebody. So from what I understand, I was approached with an offer to buy a dog, and I didn't know the backstory of the dog. I like
from
dogs.
question like, all right, so question, who did you get the dog from?
Well, if this is going to be a criminal thing, I'd rather not say.
Well, no, it's not going to be a criminal thing. Like, I'm not attacking you. I'm just trying to find out. Like, do you think maybe they could have stolen the dog and then approached you about it?
I think it's just as likely that they bought it fair and square. Like, how well do you know this woman?
Pretty damn good. Like, I've known her for about, I'd say, 5, 6 years now. So
Okay.
I know her pretty well. Like, and she's normally not one to lie to me. She's really not. And that's why I was like, hey, I didn't know that you bought the dog. I didn't know. I'm just being told, what I've been given. But that aside, all I ask, as far as like, the whole treaty and us, laying off goes, all I ask is that you and your friends leave me alone and let me go about my business. You guys don't attack me, I don't attack you. That's all I ask.
Okay.
Eh,
So, but conversely, you've been continuing to attack me even when I've laid off of you for the past few days, right?
Well, and I do apologize for that.
Okay. So, like, my main bone of contention is, and I agree with you actually, is it's not illegal to speak our truths, and you've been speaking your truths, and I don't
Right.
know. So, like, as you know, like the thing that really agitated me and kind of kicked this into overdrive was you asking for naked pictures of Jamie after she died, right?
Well, yeah, and like I said, like I told you before I left before I left YouTube entirely, like I told you, whatever I did to set you off, I apologize for that.
Okay.
But also, there are a lot of people that will admit that there were some things that you did go way too far with.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that I haven't at times. I'm not going to say that I haven't at times, but
Point being, like I said, we both done stupid shit. We
mm,
both done fucked up shit. We both have said and done things that maybe shouldn't be said or done.
mm,
But at the end of the day, like, there's been bloodshed on both sides. We both like the whole fighting and starting shit and you attacking me fighting back, like, it does nobody any good at all. At the
mm.
end of the day, all it does is it causes unnecessary drama, it causes bullshit, and it causes unnecessary, garbage on both sides. I mean, look at what happened with you, and I'm not trying to throw this in your face. I'm just merely saying, as a cause of, what you did on your end, your ex-girlfriend, Saren, ended up leaving you because you decided to choose, and I'm not saying this to attack you, I'm just saying this
Uh,
in general, Like, you decided to be a dumbass and choose garbage drama over a relationship with somebody that actually gave a shit about you.
And
On
what
my on my on
oh,
my end, I ended up doing stupid shit, and I ended up losing a lot of friends as a result of it.
mhm.
So, like I said, there's definitely been bloodshed on both sides, and it needs to stop. So, as I said, I've already talked with CIA about it. I've talked with several friends of mine, and they all do agree that, what I'm proposing is actually a good idea, which is, you guys leave me alone. You and William and WordBoi and Jay and whoever else, y'all are like, basically, you guys back off. You let me live my life. Don't be going in and like false reporting me and doing this and doing that or any of that stuff,
Oh, so I can't stop anyone else from
Well, you
doing
can at least, but that's the thing though. You have, believe it or not, dude, you have more power over those two than you even realize. Because they follow you, man. They follow your lead. They go off of what you say. I have noticed that. That is something that I've noticed. They go off of what you say.
Well, let's hope this goes well then.
And as I said, I'm not trying to make this like super long or anything, but
Okay, so
all I
not,
am at, all I
not
am, listen,
you basically don't have time for this.
all I am asking is that,
You can't be bothered.
listen, I'm not here to dick around. I'm here to get shit done.
Okay. Well, then let's get things done. So,
As
um,
I said, all
yeah.
I ask is that you and your friends back off and leave me alone. You don't attack me. I won't attack you.
Well, so again, I don't have
That's
if you're asking me to.
is there anything that you want to add in on your end?
Well, yeah. So, like, as far as like each of our truths, um, to say that I've attempted to murder you is not the truth. I don't. For one, I think there is no bullet. You know what I mean? Like you would have.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
And this is just me speaking from an outsider's mindset, because I have been asked this a lot. And a lot of people have asked this. How do I know that it wasn't you?
Well,
Like,
so
where's the proof proving that that it wasn't you when there's actually a lot of evidence pointing towards you?
it's actually in your mattress right now.
Fair point.
Like it's either there or it's not there, right? And I don't. I know that it's not there. It was a rat trap.
Then if it was a rat, all right, let me ask you this. Then if it was a rat trap, then why are there photos of why are the photos of the mattress and the thing that the windowsill, like, why do those state otherwise? Because if it was a rat trap, a rat trap's not going to make a hole like that.
Can we see the
What?
window?
The window, dude, you've seen the photos.
Yeah, I was very unconvinced.
Well, like I said, those photos are 110% legitimate. Those were literally taken the day after I saw the video. Once I saw the video and my friend told me that, I was shot at, I went back, I watched the footage, I pulled the mattress out, and that's when I took the photos. So those are 100% real. Those are legit.
Yeah, I saw like some paint chipping. Like there was no like splintering of wood. It was just kind of like.
Oh, there was splintering of wood, but it was on the outside because we had a wood windowsill piece on the outside, and it dug into the wood and it shot through the windowsill. So there was wood chipping, but it was on the outside.
But if it was able to come in and pierce your mattress, wouldn't have came in through the inside?
What happened was whoever shot whatever it was, when, for the sake of argument, let's just say that it was a bullet.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of whatever. When you fire a bullet, what's going to happen is this: say, take the angle, the trajectory, whatever. Say you're on my neighbor's roof over here and you fire into my window and you're aiming for the mattress and you see where it's at, you got your target lined up. That bullet is going to dig in a little bit into the wood, probably, which it did, and it's going to blast through that windowsill, and whatever's in the way, it's just going to plow right through. And unfortunately, the windowsill and the mattress were in the way of that thing. Hence why the holes were there. But
yeah, attempted murder is a pretty serious allegation, right? And so I would say that
the reason why I did bring that up is because you have spoken about it a few times before that in the past, and there were people that were talking about doing that. So, I mean, you have to really think, is it really that far of a stretch to really think that when you're seeing people talking about it and people are saying that you're talking about it? Is that really that far of a stretch to think that?
Well, I mean, I would say that the proof would be in the pudding, and it's only if the damage is only on the outside, and it didn't pierce through to the inside, right?
Oh no, like I said, it did pierce into the mattress,
But there's no damage on the there wasn't like wood splintering. Like if a bullet fired, it's a pretty fast projectile.
Well, like I said, dude, I've stated my piece.
Right.
What
But
like
so like in order, if there's any truths about you that you want to clear up with me, I'd be happy to go over it as well. And as you said, it's not illegal to speak our truths. And
right, and like I said, all I ask and all I've ever asked is that you and your friends leave me alone. That's all I've ever asked. And like I said, I understand that I've done a lot of messed up shit.
hey, well,
But
I'm willing
but
to do that. But I also
you also have to understand this. A lot of the reasons why I did what I did were as a result of how, and I'm not saying this to attack you, I'm just saying this, like, this is the legit reality of it. You and your friends pushed me to those points by doing the stuff that you guys did.
like what specifically?
Like the way that you guys kept on attacking me over and over and over, and basically trying to turn my friends against me and doing this and doing that. All of that stuff that y'all did, that's what led me up to acting the way that I did. It's not
Like
that I
what
wanted.
specific
It's
actions?
it's not that I wanted to, do that stuff. But it's like,
What's
Nick, listen, I'm here to make a peace treaty, man.
as am I. So like
We don't need to go into specific details about what each other did. The whole world already knows what we did. Me and you know what we both did on both sides. Like
there's
you and I
things
both did. We don't need to be going into specifics. I'm here to conduct business. There doesn't need to be any specifics about what each other did and this and that and the other. You have you have your side of things. I have my side. And like I said, I respect your side just like I know that you respect my side. But
well, so I mean, like, the bullet thing, like
all I ask.
the bullet thing. I
Listen,
think yeah.
let's forget about that. You're getting off topic here. All I
You
ask,
said yes.
all I ask,
I tried to murder.
all I ask is that you and your friends leave me alone. That's all I ask. And to show good faith, I will take down that post. To show good faith, I am more than willing to take down that post off my Twitter. I have no problem with that whatsoever. And anything bad I have said about you, I have zero issue getting rid of. I have no issue with that whatsoever. Matter of fact, I mean, I would say that I would take down the videos on my YouTube channel, but my main one I think is gone. And then the one that I had the other day before I left, I deleted that one myself. So there's no videos up anymore. But I am willing to, take down this post in good faith. But in return, I need to have your word that you will, because you can do it. I need to have your word that you will do what you can to make sure that William and WordBoi do not come after me. That is all I ask of you in return for me taking down that post and me leaving you alone is
Well,
that
so
you
yeah,
make
before you take it down, because I do want to have like a mutual understanding here. Like falsely accusing someone of murder is like a pretty big thing, right? Wouldn't you agree?
and again, I do apologize for that. Like I said.
Okay. So as far as like this, This
let's
might take longer than.
come on, dude. Like let's
Well, what do you have, like? What is your schedule like today? Like you would think that like settling this.
well, like I said, Nick, I gave you my outlook. I gave you my conditions. All I need is your word that you'll do what you can in order to make sure that they leave me alone in return for me taking down that post. That's all I ask of you.
Don't you think that like spending an early
No.
afternoon is worth squashing 7 years?
Nick, I came here to conduct business.
Right,
Like,
and
like you, I'm a business guy. I don't play around. I'm
sure.
not here to discuss specifics and this and that and the
That's
other.
what business is done, though.
No, that's not how it's done. When it comes to getting a peace treaty done, you and I both know that there's been wrongdoings on both sides. You and I both know that. We don't need to go into details at all whatsoever. I came here to discuss the details of the treaty. All I ask of you for this treaty, in order for this to work, is that not only am I going to show good faith by taking down that post, but all I ask in return of you is to do the best that you can to make sure that William and WordBoi leave me alone. That is all I ask.
Well, so I understand that like you're
So what is it that in return for me doing that and taking down the post? Because like I obviously stated what it is that I would like to see you do.
right.
What is it that you would like to see me do?
I would like to be absolved of your false accusations.
And you are, as of right now.
Well,
The
so
the minute that I apologize to
yeah,
listen, the minute that I apologize to you, you were freed of all that stuff. Like I said, I do apologize for the wrong things that I said, but you also have to understand that the reason why I did those things were a result of how you had treated me over the years. Because I'm not gonna lie, the way you treated me was pretty shitty, and even your ex girlfriend Saren said that herself as well. Like, you have treated a lot of people like shit, and you have burned a lot of bridges.
I don't know
You
about
might,
that. I don't know about that.
I mean, you might not have meant to burn a lot of those bridges, but in all reality, you did burn a lot of bridges with a lot of people.
Well,
You just not.
thankfully, we've been able to repair those bridges.
Well, like I said, not all the bridges are repaired.
Speaking of Saren, do you remember when you threatened to like attack her kids?
We're not getting into that, Nick.
Well, this is an era.
We're here to discuss what it is that we both want to see come of this. As I said, I've already stated my piece and what I want out of it. You've already stated one of the things that you want out of it. What is one more thing that you would like to see out of it? What is one more thing that you want to add to it?
I would like to know that you're actually serious about this and that you're willing to.
I actually am. As I said, I'm serious as a heart attack, dude. I left YouTube not only because not only was I tired of the garbage, but obviously through my mom, and medical wise, like what I'm dealing with. I'm trying to get that healed up. I'm trying to, go back to the way that I was before all this started. I am serious about this, and I know it might not seem like it, but I don't want to be spending 3-4 hours, talking about something that we can solve in literally less than 10 minutes.
But it's been
Because
7 years, though.
it don't matter. CIA is trying to get the stuff done and set up. Like
Yeah,
he's literally right now trying to get it done. And in order for that to work, I need to know what it is that you want of me. Because as I told you in that video, you guys leave me alone. I won't attack you guys.
well, what I would like is peace. Okay, but in order to get there, I think there needs to be accountability. I'm willing to take accountability for the things that I've done to you, right or wrong. I'm more than happy to go over everything. And Chance, remember, this has been 7 years here. We can't. This isn't just a snap of the fingers.
For me, it kind of is a snap of the fingers kind of thing. Because
Okay.
CIA takes this serious. He wants this stuff dealt with. He wants it done and over with. Because like, and I'm not trying to rush it, but you have to understand, like he's working and he's in the middle of work while trying to get this done, and I'm trying not to take up too much of his time when he could be working. Like you got to think about that. It's not just me on the line here. It's CIA and his job that I'm thinking about in this regard, because
Mhm.
I don't want him to have to sit there and take time out of work to write all this up and do this and
Well,
like that
so
would.
he's put us in a position, I think, where we can succeed and reach resolution.
And
But he
as
can't. To be honest, I don't know what more CA can do. Like the ball's in our court here. You can't just expect him to do everything for you. It's up to us.
Right, and as I said, I do take accountability for the fucked up shit that I've done, just like you do. And I've said this a million times. I do
Mhm.
take accountability for the fucked up shit that I've done, right or wrong. Was a lot of it messed up? Yes. But at the same time, you also have to understand, and I'm not saying that you were raised wrong. I'm not, blaming you or your parents, but you have to
Oh.
understand the way that I was raised
Mhm.
is like I was raised very old school. You have to understand that. I was raised very, very, very old school. All right. So like if you attack me,
Well, so yeah, as
that
far as
can
parenting goes, let's take a look at.
well listen, stop.
Let's
Listen.
take a let's
I'm not trying to get into all that,
talk
Nick.
about
I'm
my
not trying to
parents.
Nick, stop, dude. I'm not trying to get into all that, man.
Let's take a look at what Sarah wrote.
I'm stop, Nick. I'm not trying to get into all
Well, you
that
brought it
shit,
up.
dude.
You just brought it up.
Listen, I'm not trying to get into all that. That wasn't my point to try to bring all that up.
No,
I'm
you
I'm
did. You
I'm
did.
simply well, I'm not trying to take it that route, and that's one thing that you do need to work on is you need to stop taking things
Mhm.
at like you need to like when it comes to stuff like what I said just then, you need to stop taking that at face value because there are different meanings for different things. Like you never know what
Yeah.
someone's getting at.
Yeah.
Like, like I don't take everything that you say at face value. Like there's a lot of things that you say that
So,
might be
well,
there's a
let me respond like in the way they're talking with me. Like, Haley might
hang
have
on.
raised a rapist and a gay man, and she's probably
Nick,
trying her
listen.
best with you. She's
Nick,
probably trying her
listen.
best with you.
Listen, Nick.
Yeah.
I'm not here to get, into all that shit. Because you and I both know that I'm not that. You and I both know
I
that.
was talking about your dad.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that is fair.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't speak to him. And a lot of
Right.
people think that I do, but I have nothing to do with him.
And there was the
Like,
whole blind Billy thing, but like
well,
that your grandmother's fault, right? You see how this works, Chance? Like you say things. It's
listen,
like,
Nick.
yeah.
Listen. That whole thing was between me and him when we were young kids.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need to be bringing that shit up. You know, like I said, at the end of the day, I said a lot of bad shit. You said a lot of bad shit.
Mm-hmm.
And people ended up getting hurt as a result.
Mm-hmm.
And not just physically, but and not like I said, I'm not trying to pour salt on a wound here. I'm not. But what I am saying is this: you lost your girlfriend, I lost
Well, we're back.
friendships.
Well, but we are back together. Just so you know, so that's okay. That's really
But point being, like during that time period, you ended up losing her. I ended up losing friends and family members.
yeah.
It's time for this shit to stop. Now, like I said, I've stated my piece. Is there anything that you would
Well,
is
I
there
think
hang on, stop to
yeah. So,
listen. Is there
okay.
anything that you would like me to fill CIA in on? Because I do need to get back to him. He just DM'd me. Is there anything that you want me to tell him?
Well, I would tell him that I would like to thank him for putting us in a position to succeed. And that since you can't be bothered with actually hashing things out, that it was a failure. And I feel silly.
Nick,
Yeah.
it was not a failure.
But it
You
has.
said it. No, it has not. It has not been a failure, Nick. It's only a failure if you deem it so. See, just because it's not taking an hour to 2 hours to hash things out, it don't take 2 hours to hash things out,
For a
dude.
7-year war? Yeah, it does. It actually does.
No, it does not, dude. I said my apologies, and I meant them.
So
Question is, are you serious about this or not? Because if you're
yeah,
not,
I am.
because
I'm dead serious.
okay,
So
now
you,
let's no now shut the fuck up and listen.
oh, excuse
All
me,
right,
language.
is there anything that you want to have put in? Like, is
Mm.
there anything that you would like me to do as far as it goes?
Hello, Mr. Hole.
Hey, I just want to add something real quick because I'm only listening to a little bit of this here and there. But if I'm going to be expected to, kind of draft up and draw up this agreement that you guys are in good faith both going to sign off on, I think it needs to be clearly defined. One column, Chance expects this to happen. Another column, Marty expects this to happen.
Yeah.
You both mutually agree to each party's set of demands. We execute the agreement and we go back to living our lives. I mean,
Exactly, and
pretty cut and dry.
that right there is exactly what I was trying to get at. Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
so
I think you guys need to. I mean, I'd like for to just snap my fingers and make this happen, but
Right,
I think you guys got to just kind of hash out the bullet points and make them clear and concise. Because to be honest with you, I really don't want to sit and listen to a 9-hour stream and try to pick and choose and then have you guys go back and forth with
right.
revisions and all this kind of shit. So yeah, just get
well,
it down.
I would say, like, I want to thank you for putting us in a position to make this work. And
Hey,
I would say,
I just want
yeah,
we're on the cusp of finally being monetized on the other channel that I didn't delete, and in order to pursue that and get Chance to do back to where he is doing what he does best, supporting his family, making a living doing what he loves and creating content for all the fans out there. We can't run the risk of having it being attacked, relentlessly. So I think with this agreement in place, that's going to afford us the opportunity. I mean, the real deal is there's Rumble, there's Kick, there's Twitch, there's
money's
Twitter
on
X.
YouTube, so,
The
yeah.
fact of the matter is YouTube's the only game in town where that counts. And, just a further point is that I have this thing going on with Shannon Kelly at YouTube right now. That could be something that we could squash as well. I know that you don't want to lose, your viewership and your channels.
Right.
I'm trying not to throw out just,
Everything out there, yeah.
yeah. But
And
anyway, I got to get back to work. So you guys hash out.
So give me just like 60 seconds.
Yeah.
It's such an uphill battle when even something that's clearly nonsense, but this bullet thing can't even be addressed at face value. And honestly, like, what are your thoughts on the bullet?
Well, I know you had expressed a concern that there's this glaring piece of evidence out there that could be brought back to haunt you. And
Right.
I know you're concerned about, somewhere down the line that coming back and biting you in the ass. I think the only solution is to dig that fucker out to show you that it exists.
Or
And wait,
or
wait, if we're willing to let bygones be bygones with that bullet in hand, I think Chance would probably be willing to consider destroying the evidence.
I would be willing to like. I'll tell you this, and right here in front of the both of you, and in front of everybody watching, like I said, and like he said, if you're willing to look past all the bad stuff I've done, I'm willing to look past all the bad stuff you've done. All I ask of you is the things that I stated, which is you and your friends leaving me alone. Now, like I said, I understand that you can't control William and WordBoi like that. I get it. But you are good friends with them. And you can at least talk to them and be like, hey, like, back off. He's not doing anything. Lay off. You could at least talk.
Marty, if you're willing to acknowledge, say, like this latest rash of like serial indecent exposure, if you're willing to like chalk it up to just a like a childish prank,
well,
then
yeah. So I do have an update on that.
Well, and then but
that
hang
I
on,
think is worth hearing.
hang on, give me 1 second.
Sure.
If you're willing to chalk that up as a prank, then I think Chance would be willing to dig out that bullet and toss it and say that it was a horrible occurrence that should have never happened.
Yeah, and I'm willing to do that.
Okay.
I am more than willing to, I'm more than willing to be like, hey, like, it was a screwed up event that, never should have happened. And as I said, Nick, like, I'm not trying to get into, like CIA said, I'm not trying to get into like a 9-hour long stream of, this and that and the other. Like I said, I've stated my piece and what I want to see come of it and what I would expect of you. I just need to know what you expect of me so that I know what to do on my end. So that I'm not out here doing something stupid on accident, thinking that it's okay when it's actually not, and us being back at square one.
Okay, well, I think that the bullet serves as like a great example of either something that really did happen or something that didn't happen. Before we go further into that, Chance, you remember that officer Aguirre? I don't know if that name rings a bell. He was the guy who talked. He was the guy who talked with you about Yoda. Well, he's taking a keen interest in this, and let's not go that route. I don't want to go that route either.
Right, like I said, and that's why, like, and CIA, I'm sure is wondering too, what is it that you would like to put in this treaty so that we can get the ball rolling?
Well, I mean, I think like showing the bullet and destroying it, evidence of you destroying it is probably number one. Am I right? Am I wrong? I'm just spitballing here.
Well, like I said, the bullet, the specifics, like all that stuff, that's and I'm not trying to like say it's bad or anything. I'm just saying, like, that's basically an irrelevant thing. But what I will say is this, because I already know that my family's not gonna let me do that. But what I am willing to do is I am willing to take down all the bad videos of me speaking ill about you. I am more than willing to get rid of those.
But they're all archived. They're all like, there's no getting rid of all of that.
Well,
like,
no, but I mean the ones on my end that I can personally
but it's still out there. It's still out there.
Not entirely. There are some out there that, like, there are posts out there that are not out there and archived. Like,
well, you know what? Maybe a disclaimer video, like a master disclaimer that denounces all of that stuff that's archived out there. Is that an idea? Is that an idea?
Yeah, I'd be one.
Yeah, like everything I said wasn't true. That Marty wasn't bullying me, and when I asked for those naked pictures, I pushed him to act the way that he did, and I take responsibility for all of it.
Well, no, we're not going to go that route, Nick. We're not doing that, okay? Because like I said, we're not going to be going into specifics. We need to keep it basic, simple, to the point, as I did.
Yeah, but Chance, one of the things though, Chance, that I'm concerned about, and Marty, please don't take offense to this. Okay. We've had a lot of experience with certain people going back on their word. Mm-hmm. And I'm trying not to use words like delusion.
Yeah, I know.
But
I tell you what, Nick, here's what I'll do.
Hang on. I think the specifics are important because that's what's going to protect us in the future from any of this shit coming up again. Otherwise, it could just be said, "Oh, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant," or that
right. All right. So I tell you what, Nick, what I can do is, as soon as I hop off here, what I can do is I can do a live video recording on my Twitter account, because obviously right now I don't have access to YouTube. But what I can do is I can make a live video.
No, you have access. You have access to YouTube.
No, I don't, because the password got changed.
Yeah, I did that to secure it. All I got to do is.
Okay. But what I can do is, as soon as. All right. So, question: am I able to upload yet, or what?
I don't. Yeah, I don't know how all that shit works. I'll give it to you. You could log in and see what the deal is.
Okay. So what I'll do is, if I'm not able to log into there, just in case, what I will do is I will make a video publicly apologizing for everything that I did wrong. I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, I apologize for this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. But I will say that a lot of the stuff I did was wrong. And a lot of the things that I said to you were very messed up. And that I am
completely false?
Not all of it was false, because there were some things in there that were true that did
I think you'll
actually
agree that
happen.
some things I've said about you were true too.
Right, and you're not wrong. There are some things that you've said about, me being an asshole sometimes, like that is true.
What
I
have I
can't
said
be.
that's false? Because I can't agree to that, because I don't think I've said anything that's false.
Well, you actually have, and you and
Well,
I
let's give me
both know.
specifics. Let's go name one thing.
You and I both know what those things are. But as I said, I'm
No, so
willing.
like let's talk about it. Like,
As no, we don't need to talk
well,
about
I
it.
can't
All
agree to
right.
that then.
Yes, you can. You just don't want to.
No, so give me an example.
What do you think, CIA?
I don't know. I mean, you know how I stand on the specifics. I think the more specific, the better, because then we could hold his feet to the fire if it comes to it.
Okay, so the whole thing about me being a pedophile, like, you obviously know that that's not true, because if I was, I would have been arrested that night.
Well,
And
so,
hang on, let me finish. As the cops and detectives and even the FBI has all said that I am not a pedophile because no real harm was done. If I was one and I was actually out in the real world doing it, like, and I'm not trying to bring anybody else in this, but like certain people whose
yeah.
names I'm not going to mention.
Well, you can bring them up. I'll agree. But the thing is with that person is that they took accountability and like they never.
As did I. And matter of fact, I'm glad you brought this up, because there's a reason why I do not go into specifics about what happened on my end. Because I'm not saying that you'll do this, but I have seen this with other people, and I know how some of these trolls operate. Let's say that I did, go into specifics. Okay, let's say that I did go into that. They would take that and use that against me. And I'm not willing to go that route of them being like, oh, but you admitted to this, you did that. Like, I don't want to have that extra attention on me. I've already got enough already going on. And I'm not trying to have them, use that against me and be like, oh, but you're this, you really are this, you're blah, blah, blah. Like, that would make it even worse than what it already is. But as I said, I do take accountability for the fucked up shit that I've done in the past. I understand what I did was wrong. I understand that a lot of the stuff I said and did to you was fucked up,
And false.
and some of it was false. Yes,
What
not
was
all, not all of it, but some of it. But as I said, I
so
am
the things
willing.
that you're
I
saying?
am willing. Stop and listen. Stop
Okay.
and listen. I am willing to look past it, and I do apologize for all that.
Okay.
Now,
So
is there
yeah, so
anything that you would like, or like, is there anything that you expect of me to keep the peace?
yeah. So I understand you don't want to implicate yourself. This is simply between me and you, not stuff that you've done. But all I will say is that the things that I've said about you are true. I'm not going to get into specifically what, and so like as far as the whole argument that you are something like just because someone hasn't been arrested for it doesn't mean that they aren't that. Like I don't. People have to. Let's say O.J. Simpson, for example. Like
Listen. Let's not go down that route. Let's not get into specifics. Let's keep it on track here.
okay.
What is it that you expect of me? I've already said what I expect of you. What is it that you expect of me to be able to keep the peace?
Well, so and again, like there's been so much over time, like, and I'm caught up.
What?
And I
Well,
think it's fairly benign because I know for a fact, yeah,
tell me what it is that you expect of me.
I'd like to see a bullet, or for you to admit that it didn't happen.
Nick, I'm talking about what is it that you want to keep the peace? What that's not a part of the treaty, dude. That's not how it works.
So,
I
Marty, are you concerned, Marty, that 6 months down the line, you're going to have a knock on your door and be arrested for attempted murder? Is that a legitimate concern?
Not as far as people go.
Well, like I said, Nick, and I even spoke, and you can even ask CIA this. I told him straight up that whatever your concerns are about you going to jail, you don't have to worry about that. I'm not going to do anything to fuck you over. Because as I told him, And he can even verify that I did I not delete the other YouTube channel? Did I not
Yeah.
leave?
Yeah.
That right there does verify that I am serious about getting back to my regular life. That right there does show that. And like I said, I'm very serious about this. As long as you and your friends leave me alone, I will not attack you and I will not do anything to disrupt the treaty. All
Okay,
I ask is
so
that
here,
you.
like for me to get a better understanding, like you were talking about, like your old life. Like to the best of my understanding, your old life was you playing video games, making music, like going on Facebook Live and calling people out.
Well,
And
I wasn't necessarily calling people out per se a lot of the times.
you were.
The only reason why I did that is because there were certain people that I was dealing with at that time that kind of deserved it. But more or less, like I
It
said,
seems like there's not like I can't really distinguish between your old life and your new life if you're doing the same things that you were doing.
the difference between my old life was that I didn't have to look good. Like between then and now, the difference between my old life and now is with my old life, I didn't have to look over my shoulder every 5 seconds. I didn't have to worry about knocks on my door or my family being put in danger or, bricks being thrown through the windshield of my mom's car. Like I didn't have to worry about any of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like I'm always having to worry about this shit. And that's not only is that unfair to me, that's unfair to my family. And ultimately, that's unfair to everybody that's involved. Like I told you many a times, and I'm not trying to attack you. All I am saying is it didn't need to get as far as it did. Like this could have been ended a long time ago, but as you said, on both sides, we both did fucked up shit, which landed us in the fucked up positions that we both ended up in.
So yeah, you're more than welcome to talk about some of the fucked up things that I've done, things that you felt were wrong. Like I'm more than happy to take accountability for it. Give me an example or two.
Like I said, Nick, you know what they were.
Well, I know. So I would say that it may have not been nice to rent an Airbnb in your town, but at the same time, I was just minding my business, and you came over.
Well, even you have to admit, Nick, you did kind of egg that on.
Well, you invited me.
Yeah, but I wasn't meaning it like that.
So you
Like
say fuck
it
around and
went.
fuck out. Like
Well, yeah,
here
but
you come out
still,
here.
yeah, but still, but like, point being, Nick, all I want to do is get back to my regular fucking life. That's all I want to do, man. I'm
Well,
not
you've
out.
got it to a
I'm
degree.
not. I'm not out here trying to, screw anybody over. I'm not out here trying to harm anybody. Like CIA said, man, I'm just out here trying to make an honest living for my family without
Mhm.
being attacked. And I genuinely feel like, and like I said, I'm not trying to point the gun at you or anything like that. But I will
Yeah,
admit,
you actually have pointed a gun at me.
well, well, you know what I mean. Like I'm not out here trying to, force you to do this and that. But like what I am saying is this: is that when you did, because you and I both know that you did do this when
I did do
you
what?
like when you set me up for that whole shit with Mass Troll Mafia,
Oh,
that fucked up my life in a very big way that even now, like I have a lot of trouble trying to restore my reputation that I am trying to restore. And I get it, maybe I shouldn't have fallen for that. I get it. I do get it. But at the same time though, like when you set me up for that ruined my life in a major way. And
well,
that right there is what started a lot of this. Now, as I said, I
yeah.
understand.
Well, I want to say this. Like, so people, people have tried to contact me under the guise of like a child. As soon as I see that they're underage, like I block them immediately, and it doesn't go any further than that. You know what I
Right,
mean?
but and I will say this, that like despite what the evidence said, I genuinely and truthfully did believe that she was of age because that's what she had said to me on the phone call, and
Mhm.
that's what I had believed the entire time. I did not know that she was going to do the screwed up shit that she did. Matter of fact, do you know who the person was that was in that photo that she sent?
No.
That was her fucking daughter.
No way.
Yes, that was her fucking kid. And that's how fucked up in the head she is. Matter of fact, you don't believe me, watch Turtle Boy's videos. There's a lot of videos on Turtle Boy where he's called her the fuck out on her shit. She is not a very liked person on YouTube at all whatsoever. She has done some very fucked up stuff.
So isn't her kid like 14 or something like that? Or wasn't she at the time?
I don't know.
She looked it.
I want to say yes, but like I said, I'm not 100% sure. But I will say this, that she has had her kids taken by protective services multiple times for choosing drugs, alcohol, and abusive relationships over her kids. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, but last time I checked, it was at least 6 different times.
Yeah, I don't think it was her kid. I don't.
Yeah, that was her kid, and she did verify it. Like, she did verify in one of her streams. I forget what stream it was, but there was one a while back where she was talking about it on the side, and she had brought up that was actually a photo of her kid that she did that to. But point being, that whole situation, like I said, I understand that maybe I shouldn't have fell for it. I get that.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, like when you had her do that to me,
For one, I don't know. Like, I'll say this: like, she asked. I didn't pay her. I didn't put her up to it. She asked. Like, I was thinking about doing this. Like, I was thinking about posing as a child to see if Chance will fall for it. And
then why did you tell her no? Don't do it.
I wanted to see what you would do.
Then that right there makes you partly responsible.
Who's more responsible, me or you?
You, because you're the one that set it up.
No, she asked me. Like,
it does not matter.
Wait a second. So how am I Chance? So she was planning on doing this on her own. She asked me, like, what do you think about this? I'm like, well, I'm curious to see what I'll do. I was hoping that you wouldn't do it, but you did.
And as I said, I was in the wrong for falling for that, and I understand that. But at the same time, you should have been smart enough to be like, hey, don't do this. It's not going to end well on either end. Like, you could have stepped in, but you didn't. And that right there is where your fault was. You could have stepped in and stopped her, but you didn't. And as a result, that fucked my life up. Like,
have you ever seen the show The Catch a Predator? Do you think that Chris Hansen's the bad guy?
A lot of the times, yes, because he's and here's why I say that. I understand that he's trying to go after bad guys, but he himself is a bad guy. He's actually got caught doing very fucked up shit. And I mean, oh yeah, Chris Hansen's gotten busted on several shit.
Like what?
Oh, dude, I'd have to go back and look. Like, there's a bunch of shit that he's done that's fucked.
I got to be honest with you. He's one of my heroes. I think that guy's the best.
The guy actually owes me a mug. He got caught in like some kind of a GoFundMe scam, and he took the money and ran. But
wait, what?
Yeah, so like he had this like GoFundMe Kickstarter thing that he, like you could pledge a certain amount of money, and I think it was like $25 or something, and I was owed a mug, and I never got it. However, with that being said, I still think that the people who go places to have sex with kids. Even though I've been personally wrong, I still think that like people show up the worst he is.
Right, and like you're saying, I'm not saying that what these people are doing is right. I'm not saying that what they're doing is wrong, and they should be busted for that. But there's a difference between doing it in real life and getting tricked by somebody that is of age over the internet. The reason why there's a difference is because I would not and never would go to do that in real life. I don't do that shit.
You just want to fantasize about it.
No, that's not it. I fell for a trick that I should not have fell for, and I admit that, I fucked up by falling for it, but at the end of the day, when I'm out here trying to do better, I don't think that it's fair that everybody else out there is trying to do this and do that and do this and do that, and basically trying to set me up time and time again just to make me look like a piece of shit because they think that it's funny to make someone look like shit. And that's literally another reason right there as to why I left this platform, because I've been seeing that go on so many channels. Like, dude, there are innocent people whose lives are getting ruined because of people doing that shit, and it's not cool. It's
I think here's a fair question, and I think it's be very, very telling. Chance, if this young girl reached out to you and she needed help, and she just lived like 10 minutes away, and you had a car, would you have gone over there to help her?
Depends if her family was home. If her family was home and I spoke with her family and confirmed like that it's a real thing, then I probably would see what I can do. But more than likely, no.
Let's say that it was the family she was having problems with, you know?
Then I would directly contact I would find a way to contact the family and be like, "Yo, like this
Okay,
is what your daughter's telling me. What's going on?
fair
Like
enough.
this is what she's telling me, and I need to know what's going on, because if there is something going on, like I'm not trying to get drug into the middle of it, but something does need to give."
Yeah.
Like, and I will admit that. And, like I said, at the end of the day,
I mean,
I
how about just
fucked
like
up.
alerting the authorities and letting them handle it instead of
Yeah,
getting
that's probably what
children?
I would have done. It's probably what I would have
That
done.
Yeah.
Right. Well, see, I'm always the kind of person, like, if somebody, like, if I've always been the kind of person that, like, hey, if somebody reaches out to me and says, hey, like, they need help with something, I'll do what I can to help them. And as I said, and I have done this before, if they are a kid and saying, hey, like, I need help with this and this, my parents are doing this, I've always reached out to the parents and I've been like, hey, what's going on?
How many kids do you
Like,
talk to?
I don't talk to any, but I have, I have had situations like that in the past where they have tried that. Like, they have tried doing shit like that. As I said, though, at the end of the day, as I said, with the whole thing with Kate, was it wrong for me to fall for it? Yes. But also,
Do you feel that I'm
I,
more responsible than you are for it?
in a way, yes, but also at the same time, like I said, I do take accountability for me fucking up. I
Hmm.
do. I get that I screwed up. But at the end of the day, like, you could have stepped in and said something.
I was hoping you wouldn't do it.
Then my question to you is this: if you knew she was gonna do that and you knew it wasn't right, why didn't you step in and say something?
I was hoping that you do the right thing and say, I'm sorry, but you're a child. I don't want to talk to you. I don't have any reason to communicate with you. And that would have been the
Well,
end of
my question is why did you not step in and say something if you
it.
knew
So
she was getting?
I was hoping that you wouldn't go that route, but
But at the
you,
same time,
It's kind of a, I mean, it may be considered odd, but I mean, it was a test of sorts, I guess.
right? But at the same time, it was like, if you knew this was going on and you knew that it wasn't right, why didn't you step up and be like, hey, this ain't cool? That's
ask
what
answer.
that would be like, if one of my friends wanted to do that, I would step up and be like, yo, like, you probably shouldn't do this. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I understand if you don't like them, I get it, but I
So
don't
then,
want to
let
I
me
don't
throw
want
this
to
at you, and I've actually done this. Like, I've left, like a $20 bill out somewhere just to see if somebody would take it. Do you think that's wrong? Like to put someone in that position to do the right thing or the wrong thing?
Hmm.
I can honestly say I'm definitely on the fence about that one. Like,
Okay,
yeah,
like
it is
one's
wrong.
$10 and the other is a child. You know what I mean? Or
Right. But at the same time, though, the thing that what people don't understand, though, is that when the phone call went down, she did claim to be 18, even though she does not want to admit it, because she does not want to look like shit. And the
Mhm.
reason I know she doesn't want to look like shit is because there's videos, like I said, of Turtle Boy basically calling her the fuck out on her shit. She's the kind of person that says, like, oh, I'll beat your ass. I'll beat your ass. I'll get my boys after you. And then 5 seconds later, Turtle Boy makes a video going up there and asking her, like, hey, where's your boys at? I thought you were going to get them after me. She's a shit starter. And I can honestly say, Nick, for your sake, I do hope that you avoid her, because she is not good people. Like, she really is not a good person at all. And I was kind of hoping that, throughout this whole thing, you would have done your research on her and gone after her instead of me. But unfortunately, you know, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, like I said, I fucked up. I made my mistakes, and I get that.
Well, you're
But
still
at the
blaming me for them, which if you think about it,
well, like I said, to an extent, if you really think about it, to a certain extent, you are, because you did not, get in the way and tell her like, hey, you probably shouldn't do this. Like, I understand that you wanted to make it a test. I get that. But there are other ways you could have gone about it that wouldn't have fucked my life up. Because I'm not going to lie, like, that whole thing did make things very, very difficult for me. Like, now, because of all that, I'm always having to look over my shoulder. My family's constantly getting blown up. We're constantly getting death threats. I'm like, good God, dude, somebody threw a fucking brick through the windshield of my mom's car, for God's sakes. Like, that's going way too fucking far with it. Way too far. Like, and not only that, but having our car towed, trying to have our car towed several times, just doing all this messed up shit. Like, it's going way too fucking far. And a lot of the truth has been blinded and covered up. And basically, you know, like, a lot of the lies are basically now becoming the truth. And the truth is now becoming lies. And that's not the way that it should be.
Yeah, another
Like,
problem too is you got to stop having people go over there and like doing whatever they're doing to set their alarm off, because they're going to start getting billed for that every time the police have to come out.
right, because,
And
Is
right,
that
like, do what?
has the alarm been going off?
Not lately, but there was one time where I can't remember if it was me or mom that opened the door and it set off a silent alarm for the police to come out, and we didn't know that they were out here until they knocked on the door, and like, we had to explain to them like, hey, we just got this alarm system. We're not in any danger. We're just trying to set up this alarm system because obviously, there has been people over here that have tried to steal shit over the years. But like, and another thing too is that the calling the police thing over here, that's got to stop, because not only, and CIA agrees with this too, and it is true. Not only are you causing havoc for me and my family, but that also wastes their time on stuff that they could actually be doing. Like, instead of being over here being like, hey, like, is this going on or that going on, and me having to waste their time telling them no, they could be going after actual bad fucking people that, I mean, good God, just a couple weeks ago, there was a really nasty shooting down here in Ohio, in Akron.
Yeah, 24 people.
Yeah, exactly. And they could be taking care of stuff like that, but instead they're over here wasting their time over some internet drama. Like, it's stupid. It's a waste of time, and it's honestly a waste of resources.
yeah, and
And
I saw that post, Marty, too, where you tried to blame that shooting on chance. I mean, everybody
Well,
knew.
so that's one thing that I will own up to. All right, and I'm not going to go the route of saying, well, the only reason I did that was because you did this or that or the other. I'll say that was wrong. I have no problem
right,
admitting.
and like I said, and I'm not trying to go that route either. But the way that my mind and the way that I operate is
Mhm.
that, like, and I'm not saying this to be an asshole. I'm just saying this is how I am as a person. And I think everybody with a half a brain can agree with this, is that if you treat me like a person and treat me like a human being,
Mhm.
everything's fine. But the minute you start doing shit and treating me like shit, I'm gonna do the exact same thing to you. At the end of the day, you treat me like a human, we're good. You treat me like shit, I'm gonna treat you like shit. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
so your family tripped the alarm, and that's my fault, I guess. Like that's
no, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that it was your fault. I'm not
It's
saying that at
also
all.
it's happened a few times. It's just suspicious. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah, it definitely
yes.
is.
So
Like,
and see,
there,
I know.
the only time that that I know of, well, and obviously there's been more than times than that, but like I said, the one time was our fault because, like I said, we were getting it set up and didn't know how to operate the damn thing, which thankfully we do now. But the other few times, it does seem kind of sus. But as I said, at the end of the day, I'm just trying to move on with my life. And like I said, and I understand where you're coming from when you ask, like, oh, what kind of life did you have before this? Well, I didn't have to look over my shoulders. I didn't have to deal with depression. I didn't have to worry about
You did deal with depression before, right?
not as bad.
Okay.
Like, it wasn't as bad as it is now. Like, I didn't have to worry about, whenever a car drives slow by our house, I didn't have to worry about whether they're gonna roll the window down and pull a trigger on me. I didn't have to worry about cops showing up on my doorstep almost every other week at all hours of the night. I didn't have to worry about. There was a lot of things I didn't have to worry about. I was able to be normal. I was able to hang out with friends. Like, now I can't even go down to the lake and go for a walk without the risk of somebody potentially seeing that I'm down there.
Well,
And
hang on, like, to be fair, like, I remember hearing like there's some police reports like about that guy who shoved you into the stop sign. There was the guy like who asked you for lunch money in high school. Like, so you have been in fact,
hold on. I know the dude I know who you're talking about, that Andrew dude with the stop sign. And
yeah.
that the only reason why they couldn't do anything to him, and I know this sounds stupid, but this is legitimately what they said. And
Mhm.
they actually said this. The only reason why they cannot do anything is because he would not admit to it. That's the only reason why nothing can get done. But dude stealing lunch money from me, what? I've never heard anything about that.
I remember reading a story. Like, I think his name was like, oh man, DeAndre something. Like, and like you're walking up the stairs, like, and he kicked you in the shins or something like that.
You're talking about. I know exactly what situation you're talking about. All right, so I know CIA. I don't know if you know this one or not, but there was a time where I was going up a set of stairs to go to class, and this kid decided that it would be funny as I was hanging onto the rail to trip me on the stairs. And when he got me on the ground, he yanked my leg through the stair railing and fucking slammed my leg up against the railing as hard as he could.
What a
So
dick.
not only were my nuts hurting, but my fucking leg was hurting too. And then the principal did end up calling the police. I don't know. I honestly don't know whatever came of that, honestly. All I know is that they had sent me home for the day because they could see I was clearly fucked up. So
Mhm.
they had sent me home for the day, but I don't know whatever came of that, dude. I don't know if he got suspended, arrested, charged. I don't know. All I know is that my leg was fucked up, my balls were sore as fuck, and I was sleeping for the next couple of days. Not gonna lie, I was not feeling too good.
And I remember there's a story where like somebody put you in a trash can or something and like rolled you on a hill, or you're on a skateboard and they pushed you down a hill or something. Like,
That was
Yeah, remember that.
yeah, that was that Andrew dude. His younger brother thought that it'd be funny to push me down a hill because like, and I know you've been down here enough times, Nick. So I'm
yeah,
sure you know. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. That big S bend
yeah,
hill right there over there by the center.
yeah.
I was standing up there on my skateboard because I was out skating that day having fun. I had stopped up there to just enjoy the view of the lake or whatever.
Mm.
His little brother comes up, thought that it'd be funny to push me down the hill. And so like, and I've gone down that hill many times, so I wasn't, unfamiliar with it. But when he pushed me, I went down the hill. I was like, okay, I'm going down the hill like I always do, no problem. Well, little did I know that one of my trucks on my skateboard would come loose, would go flying one way. I went flying forward and completely fucked up my arm.
Mm.
And as a result of that, I was actually supposed to work at what was it? It was like one of the really famous haunted attractions here in Ohio. I was supposed to do that year, but as a result of my injury, I mean my arm being fucked up, I unfortunately had to pass on it, and that pissed me off because I would have been making $100 an hour doing that.
100 an hour.
Because it was like one of the bigger. It was one of the bigger, more well-known attractions. They had actually had a bunch of guys that worked in the horror film industry there for like, doing makeup, props, setups. Like they had a whole thing going. I don't know if they shut that down entirely because of the whole COVID shit. I don't know if they're still open. But as a result of that, I wasn't able to work that year, which fucking sucked.
Oh, did you do it other years?
I wasn't able to, because by the
Yeah.
next year, I had found out that I guess some legal shit went down with one of their employees, and it forced them out that year because they decided they wanted to be a little stickler about having their phone out at work, and you're not allowed to have your phone out while you're doing your job, obviously. Like, they wanted to make a whole fucking thing about it. And then my friend that got me linked up with that basically said, like, hey, because of the legal issues, they're not doing it this year because this person wants to take it to court and be a bitch about it, which was kind of stupid. But, you know, I don't know if they're still doing it or not, because that was like right before, that was like literally like a couple, actually, no, it was like a year. Yeah, actually a year right before COVID had happened. So I don't know if they're still doing that. I don't know. All I know is that I was excited to work that year, to do something I actually enjoyed, and scaring the fuck
Yeah,
out of
so I'm
people.
just saying, like, as far as like looking over your shoulder, it seems like you got beaten up a lot more back then than you do now.
It's not that I got beat up a lot more back then, but like the stuff as it pertains to right now is definitely way more dangerous. Like, it definitely is way more dangerous because now
Well, I mean, like I would say, like a black guy, like kicking you in the leg in high school and like calling you
all right,
names.
so let me ask you this: which one's worse, getting that and going through that shit and getting over that, or having to worry about every car that drives by potentially being someone that you don't want to tangle with? If you ask me, I'd say the car's a little bit more dangerous, because a dude with a gun in a car, they could blast you and drive
Thanks,
off.
you were never shot at though.
I'm not saying I was, but there's always that chance. There's always that chance of that happening.
Well, sure, I suppose.
Like, it's especially given how, and I don't know if you know this or not, but as a result of like everything that's gone on, there are several trolls that have actually rolled up looking for me and have drove by my house and have posted videos talking about, oh, I drove by your house, where you at? Like,
Yeah, now
there's a lot.
it's gotten so bad that like just the other day they had people driving by and poor Ed, now he's got video evidence and the cops come and they tell him he's just being paranoid. And poor Ed has a heart attack over the whole thing because he just wants it to stop.
So I
Yeah,
think
and
we've already just like squashed one of the things off the list, like admitting that you never got shot at. So like we can that's progress as far as I'm concerned.
well, as I said, like, I'm just trying to put a stop to this so I can get back to my normal life. Because I'm not gonna lie, dude. I'm not gonna lie, dude. Losing my best friend of 17 years over all this stupid shit.
Zach
Look,
Hussein?
no, no, no. My best friend Jake, the one that I used to talk to all the time.
Yeah.
Me and him no longer talk. And dude, that was my best friend of 17 years. That was somebody that was basically like my little brother.
Well, Marty,
And now,
maybe as a gesture of good faith, you could reach out to Jake and tell him that you were responsible for all that bullshit.
I doubt they would answer, because his dad is around, and I'm not saying this to you, Marty, and I don't know if he is watching or not, but to Jake, I love you to death, man. To your dad, I love your dad to death. But to Jake's dad, Vernon, not trying to set you off or anything, man, but you do know that you can be a bit of an asshole sometimes. Not trying to piss you off, but just saying you can be a bit of an asshole. But regardless of that, still love you to bits.
Huh. So
Just
Saren
saying.
asks, what is the first memory you have of being bullied / harassed, like as a young child?
God, that would be earliest memory for me. Would have to be probably.
The doctor smacking you on the ass when you were born doesn't count.
Yeah, that definitely don't count. That, dude, that's every doctor, period, on the face of the fucking earth.
Maybe you should have been a doctor then.
Oh God, no! Are you kidding me? I can never do that shit. I love horror movies, but I can never do gore, blood. I could not. I couldn't do that shit.
Sure.
I don't do blood and guts and gore. Thank you, anyways. Like, I can handle horror movies, but when it comes to like actually seeing that shit in real life, fuck that. I'm dipping out. I'm gone. But like the earliest memory for me was, I forget what grade it was, but there was a kid named Chris that had literally, he was like twice my size. And I must have been at least maybe 6, 7, maybe 8 or 9 at the time, I think. And for some reason he just hated me, and he ended up, like, he pushed me around here and there, did what all kids do, but then just one day he decided to snap and ended up punching me and ended up giving me a black eye. That was like literally my first taste of bullying that I can remember. And then, from there growing up, I got like any normal kid would do, shoved in lockers, fucking, the typical shit. But like, I'm not gonna lie, that compared to the last 7 years, I will take that school shit over this stuff any day of the week. Like I will gladly take dealing with some fucking high school asshole that's a complete douchebag that I know I could fucking drop like a rock. I'll take that over having to worry about being shot at or this or that and the other any day of the week.
A lot of time in schools, kids will get bullied, and then that kid himself ends up kind of turning and becoming a bully himself. Did you ever get engaged in any like revenge bullying or anything?
Oh no, I don't. I've never been one to engage in revenge bullying. I've never been about that shit.
Well, yeah. Is it fair to say then, like this has been like your entire life, like people having problems with you and picking on you?
To an extent, but it's always been because, and I'm not saying this in a bad way, but it's always been because I've always been smaller, I've always been different, I've always been that outcast kid that, we've all got that one person in school that's an outcast kid that everybody fucks with. That was me. I was that kid. Like, even in high school, dude, like, while everybody else was, off worrying about, like, oh, I'm going to wear this, I'm going to do that. I was that kid in fucking school that was sitting there drawing on the back of his fucking classwork. I was that kid that was sitting there reading manga in the fucking library and watching anime on YouTube while everybody else was fucking hanging out with the jocks or hanging out with the basketball team. My ass was either up in the library reading manga, watching anime on YouTube, or in the fucking music room hanging out with my friends. Like, that's where those were my two spots, was either the library or the music room with my friends, where, their bands, like where their bands and all of them would practice that and have fun at. Like, those were my two spots. I never got into and I know it sounds bad. As a kid, I was the preppy kid. As a kid growing up, I was that preppy kid. And then when I got into high school, I immediately, like, I was automatically that outcast kid that everybody like completely screwed with for just
So like I don't know, like it seems like historically, like almost everyone has had like a problem with you. Is it possible? And I don't know, like
I said, the reason why they had a problem with me back then is because, like I said, I was always the different kid. I was always that, like, it's because they see, and this is with anybody, dude. Anybody sees somebody like me, they're automatically gonna think, oh, that dude's an easy target. That dude's a target that we can fuck with. And that was their mindset back then, is, oh, he's an easy target, we can fuck with him. And then, like, once, it got around, like, to these last few years of like everything that went down, and me being, and I'm not saying this to attack you, but me being pushed around, I finally had enough, and I basically said, you know what, instead of being quiet, I'm gonna start fucking fighting back like I should have been doing this whole time.
So like the bullying started in school, like as early as you can remember.
Okay, hang on. How did we get to this point? Like, I thought we were talking about the shit that needs to be put in the thing. How did we get to this point?
We've gotten down one bullet point that there was no shooting, and like it's a good first step.
At least not yet. Anyway, I'm not saying that there's gonna be, but with these people, you never fucking know, dude. Because I'm not gonna lie, dude. Like, you might not realize it, but there's a lot of people that do shit in your name. Like a lot of them will do stuff without you knowing about it. Like there will be people that show up here and then defending you. And like, it's not gonna lie, dude. Like you got a lot of people that are following you that are just, they're psychotic and they're not good people.
Is it possible that they just don't like you independently of me?
I mean, it's possible, but like I said, I don't know.
Okay, so
But like,
okay, so
all right,
Sharon asked a question. I'm trying to normally want to go back to before being bullied. So I'm getting like 5 or 6 years old.
now what's that?
So I'm just wondering what normally want to go back to before being bullied.
The normal I want to go back to is like CIA said, being able to do what I was doing, you know, back when I was working on my music, back when I was able to live stream, back when I was basically able to do stuff and not have to worry about being attacked, being stolen from, and just basically being treated like shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the normal that, like, dude, and no joke, and CIA has seen the photos. I've showed them the photos. Matter of fact, Saren's even seen the photos. If you look at the photos from, you know, of me on my on my original Facebook from before I got attacked compared to now, physically wise, like you can see a major difference because of all the
Yeah,
stress.
there's some. I mean, there's some pictures. He looks like he's aged 30 years
Yeah.
in some of them.
Yeah, oh yeah, and you're not wrong, dude. And some of them I do, like there's one dude the other day that's
I'm like, if your past life is being bullied though, and you want to go back to how things were, then like you're saying basically that you want to be bullied, right?
no,
Like,
no, I'm not saying I want to be, oh my god. What I'm saying is that I want to be able to do stuff that I used to do without being attacked.
well, you do stuff that you used to do.
But not without being attacked or stolen from, or ripped off from, or falsely reported for. Like say, like for a prime example, let's say that I went on, just for prime example here, I'm not saying I'm going to, but let's say that I made a brand new Twitch today and I went over there to start over new and show people that, like, hey, I'm not this evil piece of shit that everybody's making me out to be. I'm not this rage-filled ball of hate, and that I'm actually a chill person and I'm not about that shit. Guarantee within minutes, you know, somebody will end up reporting it for false stuff. Like they'll say, like, oh, he's ban evading, when I'm not ban evading.
You did get banned though. You did get banned, right?
Well, that's the thing though. I'm not necessarily ban evading. That's their excuse. That's their label.
Well, if you got banned and you return to the platform, then you're trying to evade the ban. Like it's
Well, that's the thing though. Ban evading, that's the thing. People don't realize that ban evading is not a real thing. That's just their label that they stick on it to get away with, you know, getting someone banned that they don't necessarily like.
well, I mean, so like a ban is supposed to be permanent, right?
Not necessarily.
Well, according to that's they say that it is that like ban is supposed to be permanent. Like, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong.
Well, do you know how many people that get banned on Twitch that are allowed to start over on a new account and they don't get fucked with? It's actually a lot more common than you think. It really is. But the fact that people are being allowed to be like, oh, he's ban evading. We don't like him, so we're going to get him for ban evading. When I'm not ban evading, I'm simply trying to start over on my life and show that, like, I'm not about this dumb shit, that I do take what I do seriously, and that I do care about my people, and that I do have fans that want to see me do good. Like, you can ask CIO. Just the other day, I was showing him a bunch of fucking messages from, like, what? At least, how many did I count, dude? Like 6, 7, 8 different people that were asking about, like, when am I going to be streaming again? When am I going to be releasing new music and this and that and the other? And I have to tell those people, unfortunately, I don't know. And I'm not saying that you had anything to do with it, but it's because of people like WordBoi and William that fucked me over so badly with a lot of my songs that I'm not able to really do anything, because I know the minute I go to release anything, they're going to try to fuck me over. Like, yo, CIA, how many times have you counted on a stream when I'm doing a cover show or I'm hanging out. Like, how many times have you seen people asking for me to play their favorite song, Street Racing Scene, and I have to tell them that unfortunately, because of the whole copyright bullshit, even though we know it's all bullshit, that I'm not able to do that,
Yeah, I don't
unfortunately.
know. Tony Gunk just said at least 20.
Yeah.
Well, like,
Like-
they're like, so for example, like ban evasion, like you can say that it's not real, but like the letter of the law is that if you get permanently banned,
But that's the thing,
right.
though. That's the thing, though. I was never permanently banned. That whole thing of me being permanently banned, that's literally just the people that are saying that, like, you know, WordBoi and William and all them. Like, that's them trying to keep control over me. That's how they try to manipulate. That's how they try to control. Because that's what they want. It's all a power trip. It's all just one big power trip for them. That's what it's really about, is they want control. They want to be able to judge what I do. They want to see me suffer. They don't want to see me do good. When CIA, how many times have I sat there and told you, and how many times have you heard me tell my mom, like, that I want to get away from this shit and show these people that I can do better?
Hang on, let me look at my notes.
Oh my God.
So
Yeah, at least three. At least three. I'm being sarcastic.
That,
like, a lot.
Right.
So
but at the end of the day, dude, all I'm trying to do is get my life back to normal and show people that I'm not this evil piece of shit that I've been made out to be. I understand that I fucked up. I understand that I've done a lot of bad shit and maybe shouldn't have acted the way that I did. But at the same time, when you're drugged into a situation that you've never dealt with and you got people attacking you from all sides every fucking day, like, how are you supposed to react to that? That's literally, and I know I've said this a million times, but it's literally the best comparison out there. That's like handing a fucking kid a gun and telling him to go shoot the bad guys and not telling him who the bad guy is. That kid's not going to know who the bad guy is. For all you know, to him, you could be the bad guy and you'll end up either dead or fucking leaking blood from a damn bullet hole. Because you didn't tell him, hey, this is the bad guy. And over the years, I've had people pretending to be my friend, stabbing me in the back, you know, and then they turn around and make me look like a piece of shit for them shitting on, like, you know, they shit on me. I respond, and then all of a sudden, I'm the bad guy. Everything I've done and the ways I have acted, yeah, they may have been wrong, but it was because of how people treated me.
So I want to ask you something, like, and I don't know how you're going to feel about this, but like, at any point do you ask yourself, and this might be like a tough question to ask, but maybe it's not everyone else that's the problem, but maybe there's a part of you that's the problem.
And that's the thing, though, and you know, and I have asked myself that, believe it or not, and yeah, I understand that me not responding is the best thing. But
Well,
like
I'm
I
not even
said,
saying that. I'm saying, like, you know, with the quote unquote.
that's the thing, though. That's the thing, though. I'm not the bad guy. I'm really not. Like, I'm literally just a regular dude trying to make a fucking living. But as I said, when you got so many people attacking you and making up shit about you that isn't true, like, I'm not gonna lie, dude. There's a lot of shit that is made up about me on the internet. I'm not gonna lie. I've seen some pretty wild shit in Reddit posts and Tumblr posts. Like, I've seen all kinds of shit that's just complete garbage. But it's like, when you have all that happening, how are you supposed to live your life? How are you supposed to live a normal life? You're not.
Okay, so like
you're not supposed to live a normal life. Like, you're not gonna be able to.
Like, so have I been caught in any sort of like child scandals?
Honestly, I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that if I had, you'd be aware of it, right?
Honestly, there's like, I'm not saying this to attack you. I'm not saying that is true or not, but from my understanding, like, and I'm not saying you ever haven't, but I'm just speaking from an outsider perspective and from my point of view. You've done so much stuff that I don't know what's true and what's not.
I'm pretty sure that would be like a talked about thing. Like, have you ever seen me like threaten any children or even like talk to any children?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know what honestly, dude, I'm gonna say this. I don't know what you do when the cameras aren't on. And
No.
I'm not saying that to attack you. I'm just saying, like, just like people think they know what I do when the cameras aren't on. I don't know what you do when, cameras aren't on. Just like, I don't know what CIA does with his family or whatever when the cameras aren't on. I don't know. And I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I'm not saying that you're a bad guy at all, dude. I'm just, putting that out there as an example. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, the answer is no, right? Like, there's no evidence that I've threatened kids, that I talk to kids, that I've much less.
Right. And as for that whole fucking moderator thing, like, I know a lot of people like to hold that over my head. But, dude, I will say this. Nothing sexual was said to that person.
Why do you
And
talk to kids? Like what is it?
I don't listen. That whole thing with them being a moderator, like that wasn't me trying to get to them. They came into my stream. They just happened to hang out for about a month or so and be really chill. And so they're like, "Hey, like, can I mod for you?" I told them, "Yeah." Nothing sexual was going on. Nothing bad was said. It's just people have this notion of, they have this stereotypical way of like, oh, if you're an adult streamer, you shouldn't have, you know, kids. It don't matter how old they are. They shouldn't be modding for you. Motherfucker, do you know how many fucking major YouTubers have kids as moderators that actually do a really good fucking job? It's a lot more common than you fucking think. It really is.
Well,
And for me, I was trying to break that stereotype of being like, hey, this dude's a kid. They're not bad people. Nothing sexual going on. They're just a mod. That's it. At the end of the day, that's all they were. But people still want to hold that against me for whatever reason. But at the end of the day, Nick, we're getting off track here.
sorry, I
Let
don't know. Sure, I just
what's the next bullet point that you wanted to bring up real quick?
well, I would like you to apologize to Saren for threatening to like kill her
Oh,
kids.
I've already talked to her, and I've already talked to her about that, dude, and I've already apologized to her for that shit several times.
Mm,
So, like,
um,
me and her, like, we're good, like, we're cool, we're good.
okay, well, that's very very big, yeah. I'm hoping that and I'm going to stop this, but I hope you can forgive me for speaking with Officer Aguirre, like the Yoda cop, about the whole indecent exposure thing. Like it's um.
And
So
like, and
yeah.
like CIA said, if you're willing to chalk it up as nothing, I'm willing to look past it.
Well, so yeah, it's funny you say that. Like, I get your channel struck down, but like, you gave me a strike for whipping your penis out.
To be fair, when your channel got struck, not the time that I struck it, but
Mm.
the time after that, that was not me. That was actually somebody else. I don't know who it was, but that was somebody else that struck it. That wasn't me or CIA. I don't know who it was.
Well, I mean, surely you can admit that, like whipping your penis out and then me getting a
Yeah,
strike. Yeah,
yeah, and like I said, and I do admit that was wrong of me to do.
Mm.
That was. And like I said, I'm not out here trying to.
So you admit it that you weren't showing your foot.
No, there was a point where I was showing my foot. There was. And everybody, matter of fact, CIA, didn't you see me raise my foot up at that one point?
I did. I saw something else too, but I saw the foot for sure.
Yeah. But point being, at the end of the day, it was wrong.
Mm.
And like I said, I'm willing to look past it.
You know what, Marty? The thing that we didn't realize was that it's an actual crime in the state of Ohio, and
6 year statute of limitations.
that brings up a big concern because there's a 6-year statute of limitations on it,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and for you to whip that out and keep playing that card is it just not something that would be cool.
Well, there is a concept in a negotiation known as leverage, and I think it's a pretty strong card.
Well, point being, like I said, Nick, if you're willing to look past all that, so am I. I'm willing to admit that I was wrong in what I did. I shouldn't have done it. whether I knew it was wrong or not, at the end of the day, it was a lapse in judgment that I do apologize for.
And not
Yeah.
just a little
And, Marty, you posting that he's a serial flasher and a sexual deviant that, you know, historically continuously commits indecent exposure, that doesn't really help either. You know what I mean?
And like I said, Nick, at the end of the day, if you're willing to, blow all this off and look past it and let me go my separate ways, I'm willing to chalk it up and look the other way as well.
You know what? I'm on the. You agree in fate?
Do what?
Do you agree in like fate?
To an extent, yeah.
What do you say you flip a coin, best 2 out of 3?
No, we don't need any coin flipping. I need to have your word that nothing will come of any of this. Because, Nick, I gave you my word that I'm going to leave you alone, and I told you in good faith that I would take down those posts.
Are you a heads or tails guy?
CIA, what do we do here, man?
I'm sorry, I'm working at the same time. I didn't hear what was said.
He is trying to pull some slick shit.
What did he?
Well, do you believe in fate, CIA?
Believe in what?
In fate.
In what respect?
Well, there has been a lot of wrong on both sides. I know what I ultimately want, but I know that's not going to happen. I know that the key to any successful negotiation is neither party leaves feeling they got 100% of what they want. With that being said, I don't know where else to take it.
Marty, as I said, I'm willing to look past everything and make peace and go on with my life if you're willing to do the same. I told you exactly what I'm willing to do, and I'm going to stick to my word. But I need to know that you're not going to try to pull anything.
All right, guys, I got to bail. I got shit going on over here.
Hold on, CI, can you?
Let's go one more moment here. I'll let you call it. Best 2 out of 3.
Marty, stop this shit. It doesn't have to go down this way, man. I came here to set up a peace treaty. That's what I came here to do. I didn't come here to flip heads or tails or get police involved. I came here to squash things with you so I can move on with my life. So would you put the coin away?
Yeah, and the chance agrees not to get the police on your ass, too.
And I did. I straight out told CIA that I will not call the police on you. I straight out told them that. Matter of fact, you want to know how serious I am? I actually sat there and I deleted every bit of fucking evidence that I have against you off of my computer.
But there's so much out there, Chance. Like, I would need a long, lengthy denouncing, and even then, it won't take up all the slander. Is there any way that you could make a live stream addressing everything, taking full responsibility for everything? Like this kid thing, for example. I didn't make you do that. Like, it was a situation that you found yourself in.
Right, and you're not wrong, but at the same time, I do kind of
blame me for that, like, because I didn't stop.
Well, you. I'm not saying that I fully blame you, but I do feel like you could have stepped in. I do really feel like you could have stepped in and been like, "Hey, you shouldn't do this." So, like I said, I'm not fully blaming you. I'm not. I'm just saying, like, this is what you could have done to prevent that, knowing how screwed up it is.
Like, Marty, that report that you got from the authorities for the indecent exposure report that you said, all you got to do is send it. What do we have to do to make that go away?
Well, I know what he's not going to do.
Well, yeah, that's because I'm not medically cleared, dude, man. You know
Okay, well,
that.
then you know what, Chance? I got something that doesn't involve dancing. I have like an AI song contest later. I know your
Okay.
music. I know you have a music background. Would you be willing to help judge it later and like?
As long as it's not anything fucked up, yeah.
Okay.
Like
Well,
as long as it's not like a song about me or anything like that, you know, and like it's like a regular song, yeah, I'm more than willing to.
Well, I
I
think it would be fair that if people would do maybe songs about Marty and Chance. I mean, as long as it's even.
yeah, like
Yeah,
I've
that's a fair point. That's fair.
yeah, and you know, like you've dropped disses on me. You know, if anything, I made like a positive song towards you, maybe uncomfortably so. But
Yeah, not gonna lie, that one was kind of weird. Not gonna lie.
I just kind of like open up my mouth and my heart to a degree, and you know,
In other words, you let your asshole fill your mouth.
I like that you put it like that.
You don't want to
But
talk about assholes around him. It might get him a little horned up.
So yeah, Marty, his actions and choices he makes are your fault because you didn't stop someone you don't control. I guess that's the logic that we're going with here.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that like he knowingly could have stepped in. Like knowing the situation, he could have stepped in to prevent it, but chose not to. I'm not saying he's entirely at fault, but he is responsible for not stepping in when he could have.
Yeah, you could have
No,
done like Marty. You could have done like what I do, and that's like, hey, buddy, I think you're getting set up here, pal. You better, you could have done that.
or you, like I said, you could have told her like, "Hey, we shouldn't be doing this. This is wrong. This is messed up." Because like, and I'm not trying to bring up anybody but from the past or anything, but dude, and a prime example of this, and I know I bring this up a lot, but look at what happened with the Inquisitor from TikTok. He got set up the exact same way, and he unfortunately ended up taking his life. And those kids that did that to him ended up getting charged. Like they actually ended up getting arrested and severely charged with. I'm not sure what they got busted with, but I do know that they got charged. And as a result, he ended up taking his life because of what they did to him. And like that's definitely not fair to his friends, his family. That wasn't fair to the people that watched him. But and that's what I'm saying. Like matter of fact, at one point during that documentary, from what I watched, the chick that tried to set him up, her boyfriend, like her actual boyfriend, tried telling her like, "Hey, look, we shouldn't be doing this. This isn't right." But yet she chose to do it anyway.
Yeah.
And you could have been that person to be like, "Hey, you shouldn't do this. It's not
I
cool."
think if it's going to get me off this call, I think that a good suggestion is to do this.
Yeah,
This.
yeah. I'd be willing to do a song contest, Judge.
Yeah, retard idol,
Uh,
whatever you want to call it.
yeah, is 7:30 your time suitable?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I'll see you there.
So, do we have an agreement on everything that's going down?
Yes,
Yeah,
as long
I
as
think we made some pretty. I think we made some.
I will
things
not send a report with the stream keys and all the evidence of you whipping it out, and that's binding. But you have to see this song competition throughout, and just give your thoughts on the songs, and it'll be like an hour and a half. But then I'm done. You know what I mean? I can focus on I make a little bit of music too. I don't know if you've heard any of it, but I think it's decent.
Yeah, maybe Chance and I'll whip up a couple AIs.
Yeah,
Sure.
I can definitely do some stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Do you think?
I think this is good progress. We're on our way to a resolution. I can feel it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then I'm excited for it. All right. Well, later, gentlemen. I'll see you at 7:30 your time.
Yeah. Eat rocks. Eat rocks.
All right. Shut up. All right. Later.